How you doing? And welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed, and this is Just Play It, my series dedicated to arrangements that I've created for songs that I enjoy playing. This Just Play It series is a little bit different because we're talking about solos. If you've been paying attention, we've been working on How High the Moon. Today we're going to be looking at measures 5 through 8. Before we get started, please remember to ring the bell and subscribe, so this way you know when your next lesson is coming. Let's take a look at these new measures. In the previous video, we were talking about the chords G major 7, G minor 7, to C7. Now, in these next 4 measures, we're going to be doing the same thing, but 2 frets backwards. So we're going to be looking at F major 7, F minor 7, and B flat 7. So this concept helps unlock a really interesting thing about soloing. When you learn an idea and you learn a place for that idea, just like you can move the chords to a different place but play the same shape chord, you could do that with solos. So in our previous video, we took one of the G major 7s and we decided to use G major pentatonic. And then in the second measure, we went with G major as a scale, G Ionian. Then we went to G Dorian because we're going to be changing keys to F, which is where we're going in this video. And then we did a C Mixolydian scale to ensure that our change is more solid and that our solo notes fit with the chord changes of the song. So effectively, we're going to be doing this exact same idea 2 frets lower. So for our first F major chord, we're going to be working on our F major pentatonic. Sometimes I'll add an additional 2 notes because a pentatonic really only has 5 notes in the scale, but you can continue forward as long as you have more notes of that scale to go to. Next, we're going to be doing F major Ionian. Now we're going to go to that F minor 7 chord, and once again, I'm going to use F Dorian instead of a standard F minor scale. This ensures that our key change is solid again. We're going to be moving into the key of E flat eventually. And last is our B flat Mixolydian scale. So now that you have a general idea of what we're going to work on, let's break down each one of those so that you can start better understanding what's happening. So with our first pattern that goes over our first F major 7 chord, we're going to be using the notes F, G, A, C, D, F. Now we can continue this idea forward to G and then A again. So I'm going to give you a tab to follow, but we're only going to be doing the primary notes of this scale, and I'm going to also put the F major 7 chord in the background so you can hear how the 2 interact. So let's take a look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's take a look at our F major scale, F Ionian. Once again, going over our F major chord. Our F Ionian scale starts on the note F, then G, A, B flat, C. Now we're going to shift positions, D, E, F. So we're going from second position into third when we do this idea. So one more time, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. We could continue this idea forward by playing the G, A, and B flat, because those notes are already in our scale. But for purposes of learning this general idea, we're going to stick with the primary function of the scale. So let's take a look at that with some time and a tab, and the background F major 7 chord so you can hear how those two interact with each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So before we move forward, we're going to try to put those two ideas together, one right after the other. So this way you're practicing connections. You're not just practicing one idea. My least favorite thing to do on the guitar is to take one idea and then play it and then move it up a fret and then play it and then move it up a fret and then play it and then move it up a fret, because you don't learn proper connections doing things that way. The best thing you can do is learn a couple of different ideas and learn how to connect them together one right after the other. This is what makes for really good improv and really good soloing. So let's take our F major pentatonic and our F Ionian scale and start putting those two ideas together, ascending. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, just because I'm only giving you 2 opportunities to get used to this idea doesn't mean you only get 2. If you're having difficulty connecting these 2 ideas at the speed that I'm working at, slow it down. Use a metronome, slow the idea down, follow the tab, and build yourself up until you're ready for the next part of this. So now what we're going to do is focus on our F minor chord. So from F major 7 to F minor 7. And in this case, we're going to be using an F Dorian scale. So F Dorian is going to be borrowing some notes from the key of E flat because it actually is from the key of E flat. So we end up with the notes F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. So once again, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. Let's try that with some time and a tab and the background chord, so this way you can understand how all of this interacts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just as we did before, now we have 3 different ideas that we need to connect one right after the other. So we're going to start with our F major pentatonic to our F Ionian to our F Dorian, and then again. Let's take a look at this idea with some time and a tab and those background chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's going to bring us to our last pattern in our F positions. This is the exact same idea we did in the last video. So if you go back and you check out the last video, you should already understand these shapes. So last on the list is B flat Lydian, and we're going to be starting on the note B flat. Once again, this particular scale comes from the key of E flat. And let me correct something. B flat mixolydian, not B flat Lydian. B flat mixolydian. So our notes for B flat mixolydian are B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. You'll notice that it has the same group of letters as our F Dorian scale had. Once again, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. Let's check this one by itself with a little time and a tab, and then we'll start putting them all together so you can have something to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So last, we're going to be putting all of these together, one right after the other. So F major pentatonic, F Ionian, F Dorian, B flat mixolydian. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we get to the meat of this issue, which is the idea of how to start creating good soloing. If you had practiced in the last video your phrasing and your basic ideas, then this really shouldn't be too big of a deal. For the practice in this video, we're going to be taking the first 4 measures from the last video and the 4 measures we were just working on that are specific to this video and putting them together. So you're going to be moving your idea from our 3rd position for 4 measures to your 2nd position for 4 measures. This way you're practicing your G major 7, G minor 7, C7, going to your F major 7, F minor 7, B flat 7. There's no point in learning an idea that doesn't connect together. This is what makes good soloing. So what I'm going to do is give you a small example of how to play using a backing track, and then I'm going to provide you with a backing track to try out. The chords will be going by in the corner so you can use an idea that you see fits for that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play a quick example of both of the ideas that we learned in the past couple of videos. So we're going to be starting with the ideas that we learned in the G major 7, G minor 7, C7 video, as long as this video with F major 7, F minor 7, and B flat 7. So I'm going to be going through the major pentatonics, the Ionian scales, the Dorian scales, and the Mixolydian scales for both examples. So this way you could hear how everything interacts with the background chords that we'll be playing along with them. As soon as that's done, I've also provided a little example solo of some of the basic ideas that you can do. Very simple phrases, but just something that you could hear and get your own ideas from. So let's take a look at that idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you have a couple of ideas on what you could do, here's a nice long backing track for you to play along with. So this way you can experiment, hear what works, hear what doesn't work. During the first half of your backing track, the chords are going to flash on the screen, as well as the general piano part. So if you're a piano player as well as a guitar player, you can use this idea to block out your piano chords and hear something more interesting with your piano chords. So this way you could play a solo, record it, and hear how the two interact once again. So let's take a look at this backing track. I hope videos like this are helping you become a better player. Every time we move forward in this song and I add an extra 4 measures, we're always going to use the prior things so that we develop a solo that works for the entire song and you develop good ideas that work for the song. As I said, learning ideas and then doing them fret by fret by fret is really good for mechanical purposes and some technical purposes, but as far as musical purposes, they're kind of pointless exercises. This is why a lot of heavy metal guitar solos end up all sounding exactly the same, and it's because those guys really just practice the same thing over and over and over again. Unless you come across somebody like Protest the Hero or somebody trying to break the rules in that genre of music. But as I said, I hope videos like this are helping you become a better player. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know that you're working on this stuff. If you could, please donate to my Patreon page. $1 could really help move this forward and help me produce more content by giving me a little bit more time away from other things that I need to do. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. Every subscription helps tremendously. Good luck, good practice.